Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Dinkelman, and this is the summary of tests from Unit 10 where we're trying to determine whether a series converges or diverges. So on the AP exam, they're not going to specifically say, this is the test you should use, and you're going to have to pick which test you want. And also, I have a lot of students who say, well, if I just choose the ratio test, will that work every time? Well, unfortunately, the answer is no. It's not just going to work all the time. So you're going to have to know a variety of tests. And you might kind of see the ones that kind of pop up a lot more often as we look at some of these problems. So if you have a copy of this book, if you look at the appendix, I have if it will let me go there, I have a flow chart there that can be helpful. It's not necessarily perfect, but it will help you make potentially a decision on that. It's kind of the best flow chart I've found. It's not, again, exactly the way my brain thinks of it, but it's a start. My advice basically is this, and I have it written here. So if you look for some forms right at the beginning, so the nth term test is pretty easy. So is the limit 0? If it's not, then you can say that it diverges. So sometimes just a quick inspection can help you say diverge. Remember, if the limit is 0, though, we're inconclusive. So maybe this really should say, is the limit not 0? I don't know. I can't think of how to say that right now. Does it have a specific form? So if it's in a specific form, maybe it's a p-series or geometric series. Well, we know exactly how those are going to converge or diverge. So look for those specific forms. The next thing I look at is if it looks similar to one of those. So if it's similar to a p-series or geometric series, what you're really doing is a comparison test. Now, for me personally, if I have to show my work, if I have to prove that my comparison is a good one, then I'm going to pick limit comparison, but it's totally a personal preference. If we have a series that's a combination of exponentials, polynomials, or if I see a factorial, I always go to a ratio test. And that just leaves a few more. So integral test, I think people tend to leave off. Telescoping as well and root test are kind of at the bottom of the list and might not get used. If you do have a calculator, though, the integral test might be fairly easy because you won't have to know how to take the antiderivative. So that's just a thought, because you do have an infinity button. I don't know if you've seen that before. Probably you have, but here it's above the catalog. For me, it's in this green kind of color. Okay, so that is my advice. Just kind of going through here. Now this assignment was meant that you would pick each test at least one time. So if you've gone through here and you haven't picked one of the tests, then you need to try one. So kind of go through here and say, oh, I think number 3 is telescoping, or oh, I think I should do a comparison here, or oh, I should do the root test here. So that's kind of what it's meant for you to do, is to pick each test at least once. Okay, get started.